So tell me, what would it feel like if you were able to sell out 40% of your spots during your pre-launch? Well, that's why I am so excited today to have my friend, client, and former pre-launch plan participant, Susan, come on today and talk to us all about, she just had, she literally just closed the doors on her most recent launch. And hi, Tori. I'm so excited to have her on and talk to us today about what her launch looked like, what she did. For some reason, Instagram always wants to give me a hard time about these requests. There we go. And if you hashtag replay, if you're coming on now, say hi to us. Hi, Susan. So happy you're here. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Okay, good. I was going to say, I don't know if I can hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can. Great. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited to be here, Anna.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to think of since you're in Australia, I think your doors closed the night before last, but then I always get confused. So
yeah, it was the night before last. My doors closed for this round of Beyond Web Copy, which is so exciting. Yay.
I know. And for anyone who doesn't know you or doesn't know Beyond Web Copy, tell us.
Yeah, sure. My name's Susan. I'm a UX and website copy expert. Other copywriters, how to get ahead in their careers, how they can, help them earn more, help them write faster inside my group coaching program called Beyond Web Copy. And it's all about the intersection between UX, which is user experience, and copywriting, conversion copywriting. So yeah, it's an amazing 12-week program, and we're going to kick off again on the 10th of March.
Yes, and I've actually gotten to be a part of Beyond Web Copy, and I loved it. It was an amazing program experience. I learned all the things, especially microcopy. I felt like the microcopy module alone, I was like, I got to take this. And I'm really happy that you're here because you and I have worked together extensively over the last year or so now, right, when it comes to launching. And so maybe tell everyone a little bit about what this journey has looked like and where we started off last year and
yeah, for sure. So
right now.
I mean, I'm a Brenna fan from a long while back, so I was basically any container you create, I'm going to be part of, because I know that you I've watched you since the beginning, and I am just she is so switched on. Our brains work the exact same way. You're so strategic. I'm just any support that I get from you will be worth its weight in gold. And when you launched the pre-launch plan program for the first time, I'd had 2 launches and they'd gone okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm all for people that don't know, user experience is all about iteration and continually making things better. So I had enough validation that I had a really great idea, but I just didn't feel like I was communicating that as well as I could. And I also know, again, because my UX background, the more input that I can get from other people, the faster I can move, the more rapid my transformation can be. So joining the pre-plan program was a no-brainer for me. I had also found it really hard. I'd done some haphazard. I knew how important pre-launching was. So I'd done my own kind of pre-launch, but there's so much, especially those first 2 times you're launching. I was creating the program, I was writing sales page copy, I was writing email copy. There was so much to do, and my pre-launch kind of was deprioritized on the list, which meant when I got to my launch emails, I was oh my goodness, there's so much to say and I don't have enough to say it, and there's not enough, there's not a big enough window to really get the word out there. So I was just so ready to get your support and just give it my all and get a really rock solid strategy in place, which is exactly what we did.
Yeah, no. And let's talk about your first launch after you went through and did the pre-launch. What did it feel like?
Okay. So, I mean, the first thing that I think people are going to want to know is I 3 times the intake, right? I sold 3 times as many spots. And not only that, everyone was a perfect fit. Like everyone who came in, I was like, when I asked them what attracted to them or, you know, what they hoped to get out of it, it was like tick, 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 you know, like everyone was there for the right reasons. And I was like, I can help these people get really amazing results. So that was just like so exciting. And of course, financially, so I do the thing that most entrepreneurs do where whenever anyone joins, well, I don't know if everyone does this, whenever anyone joins, I it and I hold it and I'm like, just like, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for joining my program. Like I do a little bit of a woo ceremony and then I stick it on my wall. And my husband would walk past that wall of names and go, thank you, Brenna.
I love that, and I always think about that story, and it makes me laugh. It makes me smile, and I think too because not only did you have three times as much as the intake with your first launch, you were actually having a large amount of pre-sales too,
Oh,
where people were coming
and
in
that just
early.
gives you momentum, you know. Like, so one part of the result that we got together was the number of people coming in for sure. But, you know, a really big piece that can't be overlooked is just the emotional side of things. Like, a launch is a roller coaster, right? Like, it is like 40 different emotions a day that you're cycling through, but just knowing that you've already sold spots gives you the confidence to really stand behind your messaging in your launch. And the amount of support that you give people inside to really nail down on what your messages are. Do you know what I mean? Because we really refined those messages so they were crystal clear to me, both in the pre-launch and in the launch itself. So this stuff is like, you know, lifetime ROI for as long as you are going to be launching. It's incredible. It's just a complete game changer.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that too, because yes, inside the pre-launch plan program, we're creating a pre-launch, creating the content because with the pre-launch, but we're also before you even get to that point, you know, when I started to sit down to do the program, I'm like, we got to go back to like the basic offer messaging, right? Because if we don't, yeah, you have the offer, but if we don't get the offer messaging really nailed down, then everything falls apart in the middle. And so we spent a lot of time, and when we do spend a lot of time with every person, I actually mentioned it today, like I've never had anyone go through this program where we didn't tweak their offer messaging a little bit. And it's not because you know, you're a copywriter, even me, I need help with my offer messaging just because it just is so hard to do it on your own, right? To do these things
Yeah,
in this vacuum.
100%. Oh my goodness. Yes. Just getting that clarity. And also when you've created something, you know, it's very hard to get outside that bottle. Do you know what I mean? And see, like, because I had an idea of why I created it, but that's not necessarily the value that people on the outside perceive or the most valuable thing that people on the outside perceive. So yeah, you know, so much with that. And like, I don't have this ego where I'm like, oh, I'm a copywriter. Like I completely, I can't get feedback on any part of my offer. Like, no, like it was amazing how you helped me. And I just always think two heads are better than one. And even if I could have gotten there on my own, I would
Yeah.
never have gotten there that fast. Do you know what I mean? Like, if like an
Yeah. You know, I totally agree. And I think the cool part now is that you just went through another launch. And so like what did that launch look like compared to the last one? And I really would love to know like how much of, you know, the program that you took the last time, how much you were able to bring into
oh
your
my
launch
goodness.
this
So
time.
I don't give too much away, but when you join the pre-launch plan program, Brenna literally gives you like every template, every resource. Like it is mind blowing. And I was just like, oh, hang on, because I did a whole new launch event this time. And I was like, I think Brenna had some pre-launch, some live event emails, templates that I can use. And I was just like, and I had a day to write these emails. And I was like, Brenna, did we get these? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, bust the and just having like all my pre-launch, so I used all the same pre-launch content from last time because it worked so well. And I did like the landscape has slightly changed a little bit with AI coming in, which is very relevant to my audience. So I changed out an email to be about that. And another thing that I did, because I love this iteration thing, so I'm like, okay, where could my emails, even though the pre-launch did good, well, sorry, good, yeah, I'm a copywriter. Even though my pre-launch last, I was like, there's always room for improvement. And I was like, I'm going to work really hard on getting my click through to my lives really rock solid. Like, that's going to be my major focus. And so I'm like, I'm just going to focus on the CTAs in the emails, because the rest of the emails were there. So I could spend this time on making sure those CTAs were super, super compelling and get like 3 times the amount of click throughs in, which took them to my lives, which again were even stronger this time because I'd done them last time before. So just like that, it's just the beginning. The results that you achieve on your first launch from what you learn inside the pre-launch plan program just keeps getting better and better. It's certainly been the case for me. So yeah, it was amazing. And then going into my launch, like on my first launch, I pre-sold 5 spots, which was just like, I couldn't believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is almost as many spots that I'd sold on my first launch, and I haven't even started launching yet. And in this pre-launch, I'd sold, I think, 8, and I had one very, very warm lead that I was confident was going to convert.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you sold
Yeah.
8 spots in your pre-launch this time? Oh my gosh, it's even more than I said. So
yeah, it was incredible. It was so good.
And I think too, especially, like with what you're talking about, like you were able to, sell 8 spots, ahead of time. You were able to reuse like everything that you learned inside the program the first time, since this was the second time around. And I'm of course ecstatic about like your results that you've gotten, but I would love for you to tell a little, for everyone too, if they're not familiar with the program, or like what it feels like to be a part of this container and what it looks like on the inside.
Oh my goodness. It just feels amazing. Like, you just feel so supported, and not just by Brenna, but by everyone else inside the program. And it just gave me such an amazing network of business owners doing like such different things to what I'm doing. Like, it just got me outside my like little copywriting world as well. But it's so like, you do have to do the work. Do you know what I mean? This isn't like writing my pre-launch for me. You do have to show up, you do have to do the work, but Brenna has broken everything down so step by step. It's just like connect the dots. And as you're doing it, you're just kind of like putting in the data, right? Or going through the steps. And as you're doing it, all this fresh insight is like bubbling up, all this momentum building, and you can really see where you're heading towards. And it just made it so, it cut out all that, oh, what should I do? Is this right? Asking your friends, asking some business connections. What do you think? Like, do you know all that? Like, it's just like such a cohesive, coherent, like rinse and repeat, no brainer plan. Like, it's just so good. And I've used it for Beyond Web Copy, but I also did another mini launch last year as well, the Connect and Convert writing program, that I used it on as well, without like, and that wasn't like within, like, that was sort of like after the container, and I was like, I could just walk through it myself. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally like everything is all just laid out, and you're like, oh yeah, do this, do this, do this, do this. So I've used it on 3 launches now, and it's just like I will use it till the end of my days.
I love it. And that's one of the things I love about the program in general. It's just like that it's not something that you take, it's something that you can literally keep on reusing and reusing. And if anything, it just gets better and better, especially like this time we're going to have, I'm adding AI stuff, which you'll get access to after. But that's the really cool part about the program too, is like, it's not only the same program, it's also evolving as the world evolves and able to kind of shape it. But those foundational like core principles are there, and those don't change. And I think that's the really cool thing, and that you can use it and rinse and repeat and use it again and again. Like you just said, the fact that you've already used it.
It's amazing. And like, if anyone hasn't had a taste of what it's like to work with Brenna yet, like, I'm just going to say this for you, Brenna, get in her DMs chat to her because she's honestly just this generous, kind-hearted person in the world, and you provide such insightful feedback, but in such like a soft, cuddly way. Like you feel like, oh no, like you always are just like, yeah, let's go get it. Like, let's make this stronger. Let's make this better. Like you're just the best coach.
I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you being a part of the program, and I'm so excited. The last thing I want to ask you before we go off is, I think this time especially, how did it feel knowing that you were going into this launch? You know, you launched it last time, you had a lot of success. Like, how did it feel this time knowing, and even last time, I think, like going into your launch, because you had such great results. But if we're like super stressed out the whole time, like, you know, it's not necessarily a great trade-off. But I would love to know
for sure.
what it
So
looked like for you.
because Beyond Web Copy is like my main offer, a very intensive program, so I'm very present. This isn't like a digital course, you know, where it's just like, oh, everyone's enrolled, okay, like I'm off the hook. Like I'm very I'm coaching people, I'm coaching these people. So like I do the launch, and then I do the program, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm launching again. I'm in pre-launch. Oh my goodness. And came like, just, you know, I've got young kids and it was school holidays when this, you know, I had it all marked because Brenda like gives you amazing calendars and stuff. So I had it in my calendar, like when my pre-launch was meant to begin. And I was like, Brenda, I think I even said it to you. I was like, I'm not ready. Like, I don't have the bandwidth. I wasn't even like working in my business. I'd taken time off to be with my girls because they were about to start school. I was like, how am I going to do this? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust the process. I've got all the emails. I've got all like everything I need to say on my lives. I've got the system. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to walk through it, and I'm just going to trust. And I was telling everyone, I'm like, this launch is going to be like a flop. Like, I just don't have the time to do this. And I just did it. And by week 3 of the pre-launch, I was like, I'm in it. I'm on fire. I'm nailing this. Like, sales are coming in. And I'm like, if I didn't have the plan laid out for me, I would have put off that launch. For sure, I would have put it off. You know? So it's like, it's that amount of just confidence and backup is just like, I mean, I wouldn't have launched on time.
Yeah, it is like you said, when you get into the launch world, it goes by like a few months and you're like, oh my gosh, it's already time to do this again. So I agree with you. Like, being able just to know what you're doing going in and not have to like overthink it and worry about it, I think is like it's priceless to me, you know, as a person who launches, not even as a person who, you know, is trying to sell.
And can I say one more thing?
And
I want to say, if anyone wants to hop in my DMs too, I'm not an affiliate. So if anyone wants to hop in my DMs and ask me about the program, like, I'm so happy to share my experience. But I think people might be listening to this and thinking, I have some magic voodoo, you know, I'm running Facebook ads or I'm doing this, that, and the other. My list barely grew because I didn't have time, because I was so busy delivering the program. I didn't have time to grow my list. I think I grew it by like 200 people. My list is 800 people. So in case people are thinking, oh, but you've got a list of 10,000 or something. Nah. I had a small list. And so the relationship part is so important. They need to trust me. Do you know what I mean? So the kind of metrics that I get are just like, you know, they're off the scale.
Yeah, it is amazing. And I think too, Frenchie said something, I was talking to her, I think it was last week, and I think it's true, is I'm not, now that I know you haven't had time to look at this, but to go back and look, is like, how many of these people have been in your world? Because what she was talking about is that she had so much interest for like her next round. Like, she had a great launch, but her next round, she had like 30 people be like, okay, now is not the right time. Like it just wasn't fitting in. And she's like, what I realized is that like the pre-launch is for this launch, but it's also for my next launch and my next launch, right? Because you're continuing, and I think that's where you really nailed it, is because you're continuing to build a relationship. And yes, we need list growth, we need audience growth at some point in time, right? Like if you never grow your list, it's just not going to work. But what I think that, and one of my goals with pre-launch is the fact that when you do it now, you are actually, even if someone doesn't take you up and say yes right now, those people are staying on your list and staying engaged and thinking, okay, this isn't the right time, but maybe next time is. And then and that's what the beauty of the pre-launch is too. It's like yes, you want list growth, but what I think my point here is, if I could just spit it out, is it also maybe relieves a little bit of that list growth pressure that we feel, that you don't have to, like, I've been a part of really big launches, and what happens is you have to rev up your Facebook ads right before launch because you got to get a bunch of new leads. And it's like, I always talk about, I don't always talk about it, but 10% of people are ready to buy right now. So a lot of times when people are running those Facebook ads, they're running them to the 10% that are ready to take them up right now. And even if you do run ads or you have organic traffic, you have 90% of your list. Yes, not all 90% of those people, probably, I'm guessing 30% of those people will never buy no matter what you do. But then you have this like middle portion of, is that 60%? I think so. Like 50, 60% of your list that's just sitting there, that if you're not continuing the sales cycle of nurture, know, like, and trust, and moving them through the sales process, then they're just become these people that just
totally.
And
like that's like inside that, every time I go through the content and create my like pre-launch plan, I have all these extra ideas, and I can just, like, I pick the best ones or the most compelling ones, but then I'm like, I've got all this content to use in between my launch as well. And Brenna gives you so many templates for social media captions, templates for emails, like ideas on hooks. Like, it's such a comprehensive copy program as well. If people want to become stronger copywriters, like, it is just, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
I love that. I was going through my testimonials yesterday, and Dr. Michelle Mazur, is one of her things that she said is like, I became a better writer. And yeah, like at a launch, and this is something, if you join the pre-launch plan program, you have to figure out what you're talking about. But it's really one of the side advantages too, is like, I am a copywriter, right? So being able to hone in on your copy, become a better copy, and think of ways to get copy out into the world that you don't have to overthink, is, I think, one of the beautiful things as well. So I appreciate you so much, Susan, coming on and taking time out of your day to talk about the pre-launch plan program. For anyone who's interested, I have a little bit of an early bird bonus that's happening through March 10th. Doors officially open March 22nd, and I would love for you to be a part of it. So thank you, Susan.
I appreciate you. Any chance to talk about Brenna and the pre-launch plan program, I am down. So thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you. So thanks. Have a great day. Bye.